Thanks for joining me again on Evergreen Valley, Farming Simulator 22 for episode 11, with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, it's March 1 here on Evergreen Valley. The snow's gone, it has melted, I'm doing today's coal. I'm showing this, I was asked a question, well, different questions, but by multiple people. That's what I'm covering. Sometimes if one person asks me a question, I will respond. I will answer them in the direct message or whatever they've sent me, or how they've asked the question. Sometimes. If it's multiple people, then I kind of think, well, I might as well shout on the video because then it covers it all in one go. I've been asked why I keep selling at the top of the map, why I keep reversing the train. It's the same sell point, whether I go round the map and off the other one, or back up the train here. Initially, it was because when I was trying to work out where to sell coal, and I was looking at best price for coal, and I think it says Northern Railroad or something like that, North Railroad, North, something like that. And you click on the thing on the prices menu, which I've talked about before. If we go along to our prices, so when you get down to coal, if you go across and you click on whichever one it is, there you go, Northern Railroad. If I click on Northern Railroad now, say tag place, it tags up here. It puts the green lightsaber up in the sky up here. So initially I was like, okay, I thought, well, maybe there are two separate sale points. There aren't, it's one. But the obvious reason why I do this, the reason why I do this, is quicker. I load up, I back up here, unload, go back, get my truck, and away I go. Which I'm going to do now. Like so. Do that, we get paid out 58 grand today, which is awesome. Today's liquid fertiliser has been gone, and then I can walk back, pick up my lorry, and off I go. If I drive the train right around the map and send it off, it will drop me off the train right at the bottom of the map. My lorry's up here. It's just a long way to go. It's quicker and easier to go this way. I don't know. I've got into the habit of doing it, so it is what it is. I can't remember the last time I saw you. Was it February 1 or February 2? I honestly can't remember. I'm looking towards my next factory. What am I going to get next? I'm not too sure. I'm looking with the marble paid out really well. I mean, really well. So I'm thinking maybe just keep making the marble and selling it. But I do want to see what the marble becomes. So there's that. There's the factory next to the metal factory. The metal factory is chugging away. I thought I'd have rebar. I was like, oh, brilliant, we'll have rebar. It'll all be sorted. I'm well up over 2,000 litres. I thought maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 2,000. I'm wondering if the pallets are going to be 5,000s. They could be 10s, I don't know. So all the metal stuff is now chugging away. I did do one delivery of ore off camera, and then I've set that now, like I have with a lot of the other things are set. So I have daily deliveries are being done for me, if you know what I mean. Just thinking, do I need to swap the backs over? I probably do, ready for because the next thing that's going to be available, I think probably today will be the next marble. But we do have a sowing contract today. So first of our new spring contracts has appeared. It was that weird thing as well. Rather than jump ahead time, I sped up time. So I was going through hourly rather than jumping straight through to like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, whatever. I was just sort of scrolling through so I could keep a check on my diesel, my generators and that kind of stuff. I had 3 sowing contracts came up and a weeding contract. I clicked on the first sowing contract and all the others disappeared immediately. I didn't even get a chance, and I wasn't still speeding up time at that point, because you might think, well, of course they went. If you're speeding through time, I'd stopped time at that point. I think it was 7 in the morning, whatever time it was. Clicked on it, and as soon as I clicked on the first one, the others all vanished. So we've got one sowing contract, so we are going to do some farming today. We're going to get some sowing done, and then I'm going to decide what to do after that, really. I don't know. Like I say, there's a few different factories I've got my eye on. Oh, I was going to come up here and check this, wasn't I, the lime situation. I was also asked why did I struggle through the snow with the lorry. I was even, not accused is the wrong word, of over dramatising it, and why hadn't I just cleared the snow? I'll be honest with you, it's one of those jobs that I've done a few times on Let's Plays. It's a thankless task that I know in real life it's exactly the same. You clear the snow, it's continuing to snow, so while it's still honking down with snow, it continues to fall. Unless you spread salt, and then the snow won't necessarily land where the salt has been or is, which is fine. But it's one of those jobs that takes a long, long time. Like on Frontier when I was clearing the sand and the dirt and that kind of thing. And I don't know, I'm kind of got out of the habit of doing it. I kind of get a bit, you know, do I really want to? I know I shouldn't do. I should have just cleared the snow on the path that I wanted to go on, and it wouldn't have been an issue. But I didn't. So again, it is what it is. Apologies for that. I just didn't. I think the block will be ready today. I'm not going to wait till we've got 2 straps off. Good thing is there'll be no snow to contend with. What we'll do, we'll bring up the low loader with the wheel loader, our wheel loader and bucket. Did I get a bucket? I can't remember if I got a bucket on there. We'll bring it up. Let's see if we can get this line picked up. My line production is still chugging away, doing what it should be, so we're all good. So I'm going to head down to the farm. Let's get the sowing done first. Then we'll check out the this situation. Like I said, I'm sure. I could be wrong. I'm you know, I'm not saying but I think I'm going to have to own the land. But I did also, like I say, consider that lizard forage pickup, because that often allows you to pick up off land you don't own. Not always. Sometimes. Could maybe give that a try. It's an expensive piece of equipment to lease. If it doesn't work, that's the only thing. But I suppose we are making all right money. We're doing okay. So. Marble, or I'm sure it's not cement works. What is it? Concrete. Is it the concrete factory? Something like that. Let's sow. Right, just pulled the low loader over. I have got a bucket. I don't remember buying it, but I have. The fertiliser contract has just popped up, so I thought we'll come and check the seeder. And all that time I spent doing all the seed prep, we've got loads of seed. I've been waiting for sowing contracts. That's why I was absolutely gutted when there were 3. The other 2 vanished immediately. So we got loads of seed. We can get sowing contracts done. Have we got any in there? We have got some in there. We've got to do sunflower. Have we got any left in there? We've got fertiliser, so I can do both the contracts we've got available. I can't remember what I put it where. I'll grab this. Like I say, this is just to try it and see if it'll work with the lime up there. We're not short on lime because of our 2 mines now, the coal mine and the ore mine. I've got the stones from each are being delivered here every day to our little lime production, and that 90, I think it came out almost 99,000 litres in the end. I've transported over to the metal factory, and now it's chugging away again and storing, so we're going fine. It's going to be too wide for this. I think that might be alright. No, we're good. Didn't want to go on there, did it? I'm taking on the low loader because it's a little bit slower to drive the wheel loader up as it is. I've still been looking at the daily sales, the used sales market, because I thought if I can pick up a wheel loader really cheap, I might replace this, because I say it's not the biggest, it's not the fastest. I love it. I think it looks fantastic. I've always liked the older. I've said that so many times before. I like all farm machinery. I like all equipment. I can't help myself. I'm just obsessive about it. But I do like the older stuff. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And there's a certain elegance and, in a lot of cases, stylistic beauty to the new equipment and machinery that's out. You know, some of the new stuff is just wow. I mean, to look at. Like I said, when I was at Lama, when I came around the corner in that McCormick, it was just that front end view on it. And then when I saw the big old case quad track, the new one, the 71672. Anyway, that was the same thing. Walking round it and getting front onto it, the scale and the proportions, but the lines, it's no different to any design of cars and lorries. And you know, over the years there have been some truly beautiful vehicles. I'm a sucker for Ferrari 250, the California. I love that design. The 550 Maranello is another one I absolutely adore. E-Type Jaguars, I think the lines on an E-Type Jaguar are just phenomenally, just wonderful. There's a lot of vehicles like that that I love design. I love that kind of, you know. Anyway, I was talking about tractors and we got sidetracked. So let's switch over to, I'm pretty sure it was sunflower, but as I always say, oh, hang on. This isn't, I thought this was a multi, oh, hang on. It's not, is it? Why do I think this is a multi, I thought this was a multi-planter. No. I'm going to lease, oh, that's not going to make me much money, is it? I'm going to have to lease one. I thought I did that on purpose to avoid having to have multiple wheat, barley, oat, canola, soybean, sorghum, cover crops back. Yeah, it's not. Oh no. Okay, right. Don't know whether or not to whiz out and I'd better check the contract. I'm sure it's only sorry, yeah, sunflowers. Okay, field 11 for fertilising. Maybe I'll do the fertilising first to get that out of the way. Ooh, lummy. Glad I realised as I was going out. I thought if I'd have got to the field and then tried to switch it over, I would have been more frustrated. Field 11. This is still left over from that first when I bought. Was it 2 pallets? I think I bought 2 pallets of this. This is left over from that. I haven't really got any further with it. Where's field 11? Let's have a look. I know 17's there. Oh, that long one there was flashing just under the white. Okay, so long one there. 11 fertilising, 17 for sowing. Let's get her done. Let's have a look. We'll go past the metal factory and have a look. I'm not sure now. I'm just thinking marble. I think I might leave the marble for the time being. That was the whole. I mean, that what we've done 3 episodes or however long it's been now trying to get that metal factory running, and now it's running properly. And that was all to get rebar for the factory next door. That was the only reason I was doing it. I mean, it will make us money, of course it will. I'm going to let 1 pallet of each thing come out because I want to see what they look like, and then the rest I think we'll just set to selling. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, probably it'd make life a little bit easier, wouldn't it? I don't know if there's any other the processes that require it. I know the one next door needs rebar. I think it's concrete blocks and stuff like that. There's certainly nothing out the front. There's nothing outside. Nothing yet, anyway. Let's unfold that. Going out a little bit further than I was anticipating. There we go, look. At least for the time being, I'm not moving pallets, look. It's not pallet delivery. It's an interesting concept. I know this is something I've discussed a lot, you know, because I talk about, you know, and I often respond to comments across the board, discussions that have been had with various different people, you know, about the game, where it's going, that kind of thing. And I am still fascinated. It's only because I'm a people watcher. I've said it before. Like, if I go anywhere, whether it be to a restaurant, sitting at an airport waiting to go wherever or whatever I'm doing. I watch people. I'm fascinated by, you know, how people act, react, and who they are, and you can gauge a lot from a person by their mannerisms and the way they react to you when you're talking to them. That's why I've always said that one-to-one interaction with a person is priceless. You can't beat that. The modern world we live in takes us much further away from that all the time. You know, we're constantly, you know, emails and texts and even, I suppose, Zoom calls and FaceTimes and those kind of things are okay, but you can't beat that one-to-one interaction with a person. It's why I loved being at Llama and doing that community meetup and meeting all the people, loads of people that had come out to see us. It was just that visceral, you know, one-to-one thing. Sorry, that's what I'm saying. So I'm a people watcher. You know, and I'm fascinated by, I don't know, trends in thinking, or I don't know how you sort of word it. But anyway, so this is my thing. So when things have happened with the game, I know that I've said this before about the PC Master Race and that kind of thing. I joke about it, and there's that thing of people will comment, say you should get a PC, you should have got a PC, you should play on PC. And the amount of people that will comment or will say, not necessarily recently, that it's a PC game. Farming Simulator is a PC game. Always has been, always will be. And I have always argued the point, the evolution of the game as it's moved forward, the point when Giants decided, let's go multi-platform and let's put it out on consoles, it ceased to be a PC game at that point. I know a lot of PC people believe that the development of the game and what it could do and can be has been hampered by pandering to consoles. And okay, maybe that's a valid point. You know, it could well be. I know that at least for a few years, console sales were far higher than PC sales. So it's the console sales, the console money that's funding research, development, that kind of, not just funding. You know what I mean? I don't want. I'm not trying to annoy anyone or cause any. You know, I'm not trying to make anyone furious and people start clacking away on the keyboards and that kind of thing. That's not. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. But then there's that when I've said about how you play the game. Play it however you want. There are the people that want to play it ultra realistically, and like I've said before, how people read things, and it's been done throughout history. You know, certain texts, religious texts being an obvious kind of thing to that you have sects and groups that will read a text, not just religious text, but any text, and will interpret it in a different way. You know, how they view it to be, regardless what the words say. So there's a lot of people that believe Farming Simulator, the word there is simulator, it's a farming simulator. This is simulating farming. It's supposed to be, you know, so if you're not playing it as you would farm in real life, you're not playing it properly, kind of thing. You know, and you kind of get that, you get told, you know, look, it's in the title, it's a simulator. Okay, that's fine. And at the end of the day, it is a computer game. You know, however you want to look at it. So then there's that thing. This is where I was coming. I'm roundabout way, like I always do, of getting back to this, of the fact that I came on here because I wanted to experience all the cool stuff that's been put on here by Zero Oito. I'm still farming, I'm still contracting, I'm still doing all the bits and bobs, but then there's all the periphery, like I said before, the diversification of a farm, whatever it might be. So I'm you know, the coal mine, the ore mine, the metal factory, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it does get to a point, and I've talked about this before, where it can become logistics simulator, pallet simulator. You'll spend a lot of time moving pallets around and selling stuff, and that is the onward step from just the farming aspect. If it was just farming, it was just farming. And there's a lot of that kind of group, section, subsect, whatever you want to refer to it, of people that get very angry about that. When stuff comes out, it's not farming, it's this, it's that, and you know, this is ridiculous, it's just become pallet simulator, it's just become logistics simulator. My argument to that is, Giants did this to the game. Giants, there we go. Actually, no. Contract is complete. I've always said that. I always get that thing of I should really finish it, but the contract's done. I don't need to waste any more fertilizer. But I've done. FS22. The big thing with FS22 that Giants pushed out was productions, and productions was the onward step after And I go back to FS15. FS15 contract work, you just did the contract on the field. On console especially, there was no delivery aspect to it. There was none of that. On your fields there was, but contract fields there wasn't. You couldn't deliver milk. Milk at midnight just sold automatically. So that evolution of the game as it's moved forward. Modders haven't necessarily brought pallets to the game or productions to the game. They did originally, probably on PC, but Giants then embraced that. Productions, let's go with it. Let's have a productions based thing. So if you just want to farm, harvest your crops and sell your crops, you absolutely can. But if you want to go that step further and then deliver those crops, you can. But if you want to go a step on from that and you want to then produce something from those crops, you can. But now we've got a thing of you can produce something from something, then something else from that, and something else from that, and on it goes. That was a Giants thing. Giants did that for FS22. So to argue the game is still a PC game, it's a simulator of farming, it's it's not me doing that, it's not necessarily modders doing that, that's the way the game's gone, that's the direction it's heading in, the precision farming aspects and all that kind of stuff. It's just the way the game has altered and changed. It's not what it was. It is a newer version, and yeah, I don't know, it's that thing, it comes back to that same line. Play it how you want to play it. It's really, it really is that. I like that balance. I like, through the winter months I didn't have anything to do, so it was that thing of, okay, what am I going to do? Let's find something. And because I could buy those productions up, and off the productions I've already got, I was making a bit of money. I thought, well, let's run those through the winter. I did a little bit of forestry so I could get the wooden beams producing. We have bought quite a few factories. We've got a few things up and running. That's how we're going. And now we're getting into spring. All the farming stuff will come alive again. We've still got a lot of fields on the map. I don't know if you can see over there that have got weeds in. We've got a lot of fields that don't have any crops in. I was expecting more sowing contracts because planting season starts now in March. I thought we'd get more, and we might well do. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like I say, as I always say, my thought process is as I'm bubbling through things and processing things in my head, and conversations and comments, and just chatting really. Let's go and see if I can find a cheap-ish planter. It's a fair-sized field, 17. I don't want to spend a long time on it, but so annoying. It's my own fault. That's what I should have bought myself a planter, but there haven't been any come up second-hand, used, cheap, or anything like that. Right, there'll be music, so I will see you in a minute. I've leased a fairly small planter. This is a standard in-game one, actually. It's only 6 meters wide. I was looking at the various different ones available, and it was looking at like 8-9 grand, 7 grand, and the contract pays 20, which is fine. You'd still make a nice 13 grand profit on it, because I've already done, if I was buying seed as well, then I'd be losing even more. So producing that seed was a good idea before. And again, it's that, I don't know, that's not false economy, the other way around, but it's that thing, I know I'm going to make the money back. I know that tomorrow's coal delivery, and I know, when we get a marble block later on today, it'll be fine. It's not a problem. But it just seemed a bit ludicrous to spend 8 grand, and then I think the front tank I got, because it's only a small planter, doesn't hold a lot, was 400 and something. If I'd have spent 10 grand and made 20, I suppose it's still a 10 grand profit, isn't it? However you look at it. Let's open the cover on that. Don't know if I'm going to need all of it, but probably. Like I said, it's a fairly big field. Not sure if we need to. Let's open the front one again. Is that it? We're in. I'm not fertilising with this. The contract just requires planting. This is about staying planted, people. This is about back to your roots, back to what you know and what you like. I don't think I've ever used this planter, ever. and this will take a while. But that's good. The whole time I'm chugging away, all my productions are chugging away. All the work I did previously, we are now earning our passive income out the back of it. Happy days, I think. Yes, we've got crops in these. I think that's got crops in. That's got crops and weeds in, I think. Yeah, bit of everything going on that one. Wouldn't mind doing some weeding contracts. So we're all out here. Let's open that up. Very cool. I've got sunflower switched on. Turn that on. Drop that down. Oh. Nothing to see here, people. Nothing to see at all. We're just heading to field 17 now. Oops. It was a round field, governor. They all look alike. Let's try it again. There we go, that's better, isn't it? It's always better to sow the field you've been hired to sow. We may need to top up some more, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Like I say, it's a fairly big field. 6 metre, yeah, it's going to take a while. That's all good. So tomorrow, the new DLC, I mean, I say the new DLC releases, I assume it's still going to release tomorrow. I think because Giants put out all their stuff, regardless of whatever issues or problems, I think that's why they were trying to fix things. I don't know if they worked over the weekend, I have no idea. And if you haven't watched my videos when I was talking about that, a lot of the people that produced their early access videos of the new DLC found a few problems. Giants then went away and were trying to fix those problems prior to the full official release. So I'm assuming they will be fixed for release on Tuesday now. As is always the case for the release on Tuesday, this is not... I had a lot of people when I did the video on the blog post, and I thought I'd mentioned it in the video. This is not a season pass. There's no year 3 season pass, so this is not a free DLC. It's €7.99, and then whatever the conversion is, well, it might just be €7.99 across the board, but it says €7.99 on the website. Is it worth $7.99? It's a tricky one. There's a lot of stuff in it, and when I did my video, I was a bit scathing. I suppose I was a bit, I don't know. I was annoyed about the way other modders had been treated. Anyway, regardless, there's 2 or 3 things in there that I'm excited about. Are those 2 or 3 things worth $7.99 price tag? I guess when you look at, when you look at microtransactions, when you look at buying things, if you go onto Gran Turismo, and you're going to buy a car, it might be one car. If you haven't got the credits for it, and you say, I'm just going to get that vehicle, that could be £3. There are various different games out there, and you look at the microtransactions for individual items, individual vehicles, whatever it might be. You could be spending £3-4. If you go and buy a cup of coffee, wherever your favourite coffee brand may be, you may not, but if you do, the price of coffees these days and that kind of thing. In essence, it's probably the cost of a couple of coffees. It's, I don't know. Is it worth $7.99? I don't personally think so. I'm going to get hammered for this, but I don't know. I just don't think it is. Am I going to get it? Yes. Because I want to have a look at the stuff, because there's a whole load of stuff in there that it talks about, that things that the mod pack does. It didn't really elaborate on the blog post. Now I'm sure if you've watched any of the YouTubers that have put out their early access stuff, if they got those particular parts to work, that's fine. I watched a little bit, and I mean a little bit, maybe 10 minutes or so of a Virtual Farmer's live stream he did on it, and once he started encountering problems, and the stream then was all saying, look, you know, DJ's already put his video up and he said that if this isn't working, that's not working, this, you know, I then thought, okay, well, I'm, you know, that's obviously the situation. Let's go. I haven't watched any videos on the pack, on how it works, on how it interacts with each other, because like I say, all the things it's sort of intimating it can do and will do. So I am waiting for the official release like everybody else. I will buy it with my own money. I don't get early access DLC stuff on console. You know, it's something I've been talking with Giants about, because it's a curious thing. I get offered lots of different companies. When Gold Rush came out, which is now, what they call it, Gold, I can't remember what it's called now. It's had a name change, hasn't it? Something Simulator. It might just be Gold Simulator, I can't remember. Construction Simulator, a few others. You get these PR companies reach out and offer you early access codes. I get offered early access codes for console games all the time, all different stuff. A lot of times I don't have the time in the day to do them. A lot of times it's things I'm not particularly interested in. Occasionally there'll be stuff I think, oh, actually, yeah, that might be quite cool. Because originally Construction Simulator, I paid for, you know, I bought it because I wanted to play it. I wasn't offered anything when I first started doing Construction Simulator videos. The same with SnowRunner and Expeditions. They reached out and said, would you like a code? And I did some videos on Expeditions. And every time I've mentioned to Giants about getting early access on console, I get a load of stuff about how it's not possible and how Sony won't allow it, and I don't understand, because I'm getting early access offers and getting early access on PlayStation from loads of other companies, loads of other games. It baffles me. I don't know why. It's very, very strange. Even DLC stuff, you know, the new Construction Simulator Year 2 Season Pass has got a few bits and bobs. Now I've been having some problems with Construction Simulator. A lot of people have been asking me, are you going to do any more on it? I was playing a little bit off camera, just my own personal enjoyment, and then I started getting game crashes, and I kept getting kicked back to the main menu, and that went on and on and on, and I got so fed up with it I stopped playing. I got really annoyed. It had a game update recently. I thought, okay, the update may fix it, and it was still doing it. Lovely guy called David reached out to me, who's one of these PR guys, and said, would you like some early access to the Year 2 Season Pass stuff? And I said, oh, okay, yeah, fine. So they sent me the details and early access to the pickup. I didn't get a Year 2 Season Pass. I just got the first of the bits for it. And again, I just couldn't get the game to keep running long enough to be able to show anything off, which I've been finding quite frustrating. I've uninstalled the game, I've reinstalled the game. I don't know what's causing it. It's really annoying. I'm playing on PlayStation 5 as well. It's not an old gen console. It's not, you know. So yeah, so I'm a little bit, I don't know. So I'm gonna look at the DLC Tuesday, and as I said, if you watched any other videos, tomorrow I've got to take the van back. It's got to be left because it's got to have some work done, MOT work, whatever. So the DLC does drop tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be one of those, it's a midnight release, whether it's going to be 10 o'clock in the morning, you know. And again, what I started off by saying was, I don't know how it's going to work, because I know often I get messages then by people cross-platform, old gen, new gen, Xbox, PlayStation, saying it won't let me download it, or I get people messaging me saying it's asking me to pay for it. This one you have to pay for. This is not a season pass DLC. It's not a free one. This is not one Giant saying, look, here, have it. You will have to pay for it regardless. So, you know, will it download at a particular time? I'm not 100% certain at this point, but I will once I get back from dropping the van off. If it has released at that point, I'll have a look at it. I'll do some videos, a video, whatever. No different to a mod review probably, and we'll have a look and see what it's all about. I just think there's a lot of stuff in it we already have in game, or we've already got from other modders, and there's a couple of bits in there specifically that other modders have done, and I just think it's a little bit, I don't know. I say plagiarism. It's a bit. I might have permission. I don't know. It's not necessarily bringing anything overwhelmingly new, but then I suppose that's a lot of the game, isn't it? Someone messaged me a while back and said, in essence, productions is just pallets being made. Yes, and every single different production just produces a different looking pallet, but it's the same thing. I guess. Is that thing of, yeah, a seeder is a seeder, a planter is a planter. Any bit of equipment we get that's new, whilst it is a new piece of equipment, does a job that something else in game already does, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose if you look at it like that. That's why I get really excited when mods come out, when I do my mod reviews, if it's something that really stands out, if it's something really different, if it's something that brings a completely different production or a different thing, or it's a different looking piece of equipment, or I don't know, the operation is different. That excites me. I like when we've got new stuff. There's that 3 meter cultivator joke that's been going on now for however long. How many 3 meter cultivators do you need in game? I know, I get it. So I don't know. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your decision to make. It's not mine. People will message me and say, "Should I get it?" That's entirely up to you. I will get it because I want to look at it. I want to review it, and I want to see what it does. Do I think it's worth $7.99? No, personally, I don't. That's just my own personal opinion. I know Giants have to make money. They're running a business. I get that. And hopefully by Tuesday, tomorrow, it will be working. It will be up and running, and everything will be going with it. I don't know. So that's all I can say on the matter, really. I think I've said plenty. I just thought while I was doing a little bit of farming, while I'm doing I'm not moving pallets. I'm not moving marble. I'm not delivering coal. I'm not running a factory. I'm putting stuff in the ground like a real farmer. I will see you in a little while once this is done. And then unfortunately, I'll check on the marble block and I'll see what factory I'm going to buy next, having just said that. Let's just see a bit more of this, shall we? Let's move over a little bit. Usually when I'm going to do these montage clips of a piece of equipment running from different camera angles, I would hire a worker. We do have ridge markers on this. I don't tend to use ridge markers. If I was doing it all in cab, I would. I often do, it's a habit I need to get out of, is watching a lot of the farmers, as I do, a lot of the channels I watch, when they're doing any work, whether it's planting, seeding, sowing, however you want to refer to it, whether it's cultivating, ploughing, they will go up and down their fields first, and then they'll go around the outside, the headlands, or however you refer to them, at the end. Because if you do them first and then you're going up and down, you're going over the bits you've already done repeatedly. So, and that's something I tend to frame in the field first and then do it at the inside, which isn't really the way it should be done. But again, that's just a habit, a bad habit I shouldn't have got into. It's just gone lunchtime. Sowing contract is complete. I haven't actually collected on that. We had a tiny little bit left when it completed the contract. I used almost exactly that entire tank that I filled up. What do we have? 2,600 litres? I think by the time we got to that last little bit, we'd used 2,000 500. I mean, there was a little bit left in the planter, so that's gone back. And then while we were doing that, this fertilising job came up here on field 18, the field that we tried to plant originally. So I'm just finishing this off. We'll get this done, and I'll complete on both those, and then we'll head up to the marble mine, like I say, to check the lime situation, see if I can pick lime up. We're not quite there yet with the next marble block, so by the time I've done this and we get up there, maybe I'll stop for a bit of lunch. I haven't had lunch yet, so I might stop for a bite of lunch. So maybe like 1 o'clock-ish, I don't know, we'll see. And we'll head up and check that out. I've done what I always do. The earlier parts of this episode, whenever I start an episode, especially if I'm starting, like I come out to the man cave in the morning, stuff that's happened later in the day or in the evening, or messages I get overnight or whatever it might be, all those things I'm mulling over as I come out, and so when I start recording, those things are what come flooding out. Controversial opinion regarding the DLC? Maybe, I don't know. It's just how I feel about it, you know. I've always tried to be an advocate of giants. I try to look at both sides of an equation for any situation. You know, I've always said that, you know, you've got to remember they're running a business. That, you know, there are things that have happened, that things they do, and I've been a bit kind of, what, really? You know, I think everyone gets a little bit like that sometimes, a bit frustrated and whatever. And like I've said before, they try to appeal to the masses. They may not necessarily appeal to you specifically. So my opinion on that is just that is my opinion. They haven't made this DLC, bought this DLC out to please me. They, you know, at the end of the day, they just bought it out to please the masses. Whether it will or not, I don't know. I was just putting across my opinion, rightly or wrongly. However you feel about it, like I said, that's entirely up to you. What you do is up to you. You know, whenever people ask me, I will never say, yes, you should buy this. I'll often say, look, I'm going to buy it. It's up to you. Because then people will come back and say, well, hang on, you told me to buy it and it's rubbish. So I'm not, you know, or it's good. You know, they might come back and say, thank you for the advice. It's fantastic. You know, I'll often say, a lot of people will message me and say, I bought this because of you and love it. I bought that. You know, this game, I watched SnowRunner, I've watched Expeditions. You know, when I was doing the stuff when the heavy equipment side panel still worked on PlayStation, and I did my video on that. So many people messaged me and said, I bought one off the back of your video, thank you, it's brilliant, I love it. And obviously now it doesn't work anymore on PlayStation, but if something is great and I'm reviewing it, I will tell you it's great, but this is prior to it coming out. All I know is the blog post stuff, unless I haven't watched any videos, so just putting it out there. So I will see you up there. Actually, what we can do now, so we've just done that, we can complete on that and that. No more contracts available for today. A couple of fertilisings and a planting. Done. Take this back, give it a bit of a jet whoosh, and spot a lunch. I may have taken a rather extended lunch break. It's only 3:30. We're up here at the marble quarry mine. Next block is out, which we're going to load up onto. Since we were up here with this anyway, I'm going to put it on the flatbed, just for you know, so I don't get in trouble. What I might do if I put it closer to, it doesn't really matter which way I do it. So this, I'll take the back off this again, and we'll take that back over to the coal mine. But I'm going to try this first. If people have already commented about this, apologies if I've missed that comment. I know I did mention it an episode or two ago. I'm sure somebody said you can pick it up, but I don't know if that's because sometimes if people own the land, that it will allow you to. Yeah, it's not going to let me pick it up, is it? So my thoughts on that are going to be, I either need to own the land, or potentially, should I was thinking what I'd do is end the episode by taking the marble block and buying the next production, but I don't know whether or not to finish this one by maybe the start of the next episode we'll buy a new production by taking the marble block down. Whether or not I should whiz off means leasing the assuming of course I've even got it available. What's the words I was going to use? the lizard forage pickup. Maybe it will let me, I don't know. I think the reason it lets you do it with straw and stuff is because you've got a contract on that field. I'm not sure how it works like this. Let's get that work up. I think maybe that's why we got a bit. It really doesn't like that at all, does it? If I go right to the end, I'm just thinking, get this right up here, put the bucket down there, engine off, strap that down, and I've got room to put the block on the back there. If we bring the ramps up, maybe I'll take the block anyway. You saw in the last episode me delivering a marble block. If it's like it was last time, I don't know if the price has changed at all. That's going to be worth about 60 grand, which is absolutely fantastic. Hopefully that'll put us in the region for the next production. I think I might, you know, I think I'm going to go and, if I've got it available, I think I'm going to go and get it. I'll grab one of my tractors with a trailer on the back. We'll put the forage pickup on the front and see if it will let me pick the lime up. I'm just curious. Like I say, I mean, to my mind, we bought the mine. I personally think you should get the land with it. Because if I bought the mine, then I suppose that thing, maybe I own the mine, but I haven't got the rights to the land. I don't know. I think when you're buying a factory or something like that, you should get the land with it, especially when the land costs so much. I can understand it maybe with the ore quarry because there's all the stone everywhere. So maybe that land should be split up into smaller parcels, so that if you want to do some of the stone, you can, rather than paying however many million it is to buy the land there. I don't know. It's just a feeling. Again, full of controversial comments today, spouting my opinions, and they are just that. They are just my opinions. I'm willing to change my opinion when faced with new evidence. Okay, that's good to go. Right, I'll take this down anyway, and I'll see you probably back up here then, and we'll see if we can pick the lime up. And then, yeah, next episode we'll go for the next production, because otherwise I'm just, you know, I'm racking them up. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have the money to be able to rack up productions fairly regularly. I didn't want to have to, you know, I didn't want to go 25, 30 episodes in, by which point everyone's fed up and bored, no one's watching anymore, and then I buy my first production. There's just, I wanted to be at a point where I could do this and buy productions fairly regularly, and that's what I'm doing. That's how it's working. It does seem to be getting harder and harder to maintain people's interest, and that could be in part me, you know, because when I'm putting across my opinions, if people don't agree with them, they might be like, I'm not watching this bloke again, and that's fine. Like I said before, if people don't want to watch, I'm not forcing anyone to. Of course I'm not. Maybe people don't want to hear me chatting and talking. I know some people message me and say, yeah, no problem at all. Maybe people just want to see the farming, and maybe that's the big part of it. People just want to see farming, they don't want to see all this. Again, that's absolutely fine as well. This is so much easier without the snow. Right, I guess we're about to find out. What I was saying previously, whenever it was, about contracts coming quite quickly on top of each other, considering we just planted Field 17, the fertilising contract for Field 17 has just come up, so I've accepted it. As you've seen, marble. Marble price has obviously gone up, because when I sold 2 marble blocks it was 122 grand. I just got 70, was it 74? Well, it was 70 something, wasn't it? Actually, I can probably try it here, can't I? Let's see, pipe out. Yes, it is. Whoa, okay. Free lime! I mean, but this is the lime quarry. I'm not touching, technically. I mean, this is the marble quarry. What I can at least do. Oh, well. That's a result. I mean, I'm producing my own lime, but what I can at least do is clear the roads. That's a lot of it. Right, I'm going to fill this trailer really quickly. I honestly didn't think this was going to work. Was convinced this wasn't going to work. So what we can do is take this down, put it, either take it over to the metal factory or put it into storage when we need to line fields. We're nearly full. There we go. 19,000 litres in our trailer done already. Wow, okay. Blimey. I don't own any of the land up here. I was to say, well, what I could do is put a silo up here maybe at the quarry and store the lime in that, but I can't because the land's ridiculously expensive. Well, that's thrown me completely. I really was not expecting that to work. I was going to say, oh well, you know, on that disappointment, but no, on that result. I mean, that is an absolute result. So next episode then, I still, I'm not 100% what one I'm going to go for next. I don't know whether or not, because I hadn't thought about as well, was the coal refinery. Do I go for the small coal refinery? Do I go for the marble factory? Or the concrete works? I'm edging towards concrete works. Mind you, we have also got, there's the oil extraction factory. Haven't even looked at that, because if that makes diesel, just thinking, if that makes diesel, I won't need to buy diesel anymore. If I set that to distributing diesel, that's assuming of course you can do diesel, then anything that requires diesel will be provided for. That'll probably just need machine parts and stuff like that. Next episode we'll do a bit of a whiz out, we'll do a bit of a scout, we'll see what other, I might do it straight off the back of this one actually, it depends, thinking time wise. We'll whiz out and then we'll have a look. I need a bigger trailer for putting all of the all of this lime into. I say all of this lime, I shouldn't really collect all of it, but it's struggling a little bit. Yeah, we'll whiz around, we'll have a look and we'll see what ones are available. We'll make a decision and I'll give it some thought. I'm making some assumptions with regard to productions and what they actually do. If the oil extraction is anything like the crude oil productions or anything like that, it'll be oil out of the ground, but then what happens with that oil? If it is like the crude oil and that whole pack, then the oil refinery makes kerosene, paraffin, diesel, so potentially that's an option. Anyway, and with that, I know early in the episode I've been planting the seeds of doubt. I don't want anyone to be, you know, I'm not trying to make anyone anti-giants or nothing like that. I'm just, like I say, just my opinion, just how I feel. People will have their own opinions, and the whole point about it is you should form your own. You should always form your own opinion. Don't take someone else's opinion and use it as your own. Form your own opinion, take in as much information from as many different sources as you can, and then form your own opinion on something. And make sure that opinion can change. Be open-minded enough to say, this is my opinion at the moment, but faced with new information, faced with new facts, faced with whatever it might be, that opinion can change over time. Anyway, listen to me preaching, sorry. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.